Dr. Wahid, he has been really doing very best to ensure that this program holds. Oh, I can see Toby on the call this morning. Oh, Toby, good to see you. So, Dr. Wahid, I think, as usual, I'm going to give you, okay, let me quickly make one so I can share his screen. Okay, I think we are good. Okay, so Temitope, you've got the floor now.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good.
Good morning, everyone, once again. I want to appreciate everyone for coming yesterday and still making it a day again today. So we'll be having Mr. Raymond this morning, who is a GIS specialist with over 5 years experience working mostly in the electricity distribution sector. So basically, we'll be introducing ArcMap to us and coordinate system as well as georeferencing. So, Mr. Raymond, you have the floor now.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, sir. You can go on.
Okay.
We can hear you.
All right. I hope I'm audible very much.
Yes, you are.
All right. Although, good morning, but they asked me to wait because I can see 12 participants only. So I don't know if we can wait for the next 10, 15 minutes so that we can all get up to 20, 30, like yesterday was up to 44.
Okay, no problem. I think by 10:10 we'll kick off.
All right, I will gladly wait.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Raymond, you can start now. We'll make the recording available on YouTube. So they will have access to.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning, everyone. Oh, I can't hear any other person. There's no sound.
We can hear you, sir. You can continue.
All right, all right. Let me continue. All right, sorry.
Are you sharing your screen?
Today, excuse me. Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Raymond. Are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm here. All right. All right. Can you see my screen now?
No, not yet.
Network or what? Can you see it now?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you very much. So today we are going to work on arc map, then georeferencing, and just give me a minute, please, because I want to make an adjustment to it for the next system. Okay, the coordinate system, georeferencing, and arc map. So I want to make a suggestion because I would like everyone to get something more tangible because GIS is not um, something you can just minimize or you can overcompress, because when you overcompress it, you will get minimal information or knowledge. So I will suggest we continue maybe next week or upper week, then I will treat other ones. Let me just handle ArcMap today. Then the next one, we can talk about coordinate system. Although our colleague yesterday talked a bit about it or much about it, then I can continue with your reference. Let me just handle ArcMap because I like to be a bit more practical so that I'll give as many examples as possible, usually to demonstrate what I'm doing. I don't know if Hello. Network is just poor.
The network is bad.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear someone now.
Okay.
Okay, can I proceed
Yes,
on
you
that
can.
adjustment?
Go on, please.
All right. I did not prepare, although I might get it later, but since we can just make use of it later. I want to introduce ACMA specifically and now ACMA GIS applications, which we use GIS to capture those things. But we have other ones. So each have its level of let me say just specification, but accuracy in data analysis, geodata analysis. So we have quantum GIS, that's them. So far, now, ACMA is very good vector file. Just like you said yesterday, we have RAS. So now we are going to deal with both. So when you want to, vector is all about more of you creating or recreating those, whether it is items, building, that everything you've seen on the raster data, you just use your vector to recreate them. That's that vector shapefile. That is just what you, and some people can just do it and upload online and some websites, you just download them. But the essence is just the vector is just to replicate whatever thing you've seen in your raster data sets. So that is the essence. So ArcMap is good at that. It has many tools that will give you good precision and all that. So first and foremost, the geodata, we have the raster and the vector. The raster you can get from satellite imagery, from planes, from drones, and lately you can equally use your phones to capture some data, because you might find yourself in a location whereby later on you might not have access to the internet, you might not have access to some tools, and you have your phone, because we have good phones nowadays. Their cameras and all that are very sharp, their memories are large, so you can record some places, and when you get back to your place, you can just convert them. You can just that will have some level of accuracy. So on the vector, we have the lines and the polygons. The lines most sometimes for boundaries because it's and sometimes we use the water body threats. Some are curved, some if it's larger, while in some locations it's not as large as others. So since they are just and the points, you can use things like maybe the coverage area, you can use it to or just a smaller pools, boreholes and all that. Just depends on the size of the coverage area. So now I want to explain before I start my demonstration so that you understand whatever thing I'm going to demonstrate. So now after data, you now start that the pictures you get from your side. You just take a very good look in itself. the shape of the road.
Hello, Mr. Raymond. It seems your network is bad. The audio is very, very poor. Can you just try to log out and log in again to see if we can have a better audio?
Sorry, yeah, maybe the network or whatever was disconnected. So I'll come back. So now, as I was saying, lights and other aeroplanes to say this looks like a rooftop. It looks because they have their reflections, which differs their coloration. And from the analysis, you can now categorize them. Hello. Hello. I believe everyone hear me, just network. So when you categorize them, you now say these are buildings. Hello. These are roads. These are water bodies. Inside the buildings, this cluster looks like a market or looks like a school. Out this like a community square, and all the just a brief categorization so that when you start your digitizing, that is your conversion to everything you're doing. Categorize them. Then that's when you appropriate shape files. So advertising, because GIS is all about converting analog data we have natural environment to deep space, or that is what we call. So
Apologies to everyone. I think our speaker is having network issue. Let's just exercise some patience for him to fix his network. Okay. Can everyone hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay. We are so sorry about the network issue. So I'll take it up from here. So basically, we are going to be looking at introduction to ArcMap, coordinate system, and as well as georeferencing. So let's just see what our ArcMap looks like. ArcMap is just a desktop application for GIS. We have the web GIS, we have the desktop, and we also have other applications as well. So in one of the applications, we have ArcMap, we have ArcGIS, we have QGIS. So we'll be looking at ArcMap this morning. So basically, when you open your ArcMap, you have this pop-up coming up. Do you have an existing map you want to work on, or do you want to start a new map entirely? So we are going to click on our blank map. So this is the workspace for ArcMap. So basically what we do in GIS is taking data from raster to vector, so that it will give us the opportunity, it will give us the access to perform analysis on our vector format, unlike our raster format. So for you to do this, you have to create what we call shapefile, SHP, which is a kind of workable format for ArcMap. And in this SHP, you can store feature classes. Basically, we have 3 feature classes, which are polygons, lines, and points. So you use polygons to represent man-made features, house, and some other features like that, to delineate boundaries. And you use your points to represent maybe your point of interest, vegetation, and as well you use your line to delineate, to represent roads, rivers, and all of that. So basically, this is your working area. You have file here, new, open, save. You want to save the progress of the work. And this is export map. We are done with your map. You want to export it. This is where you come to do the export. So I will not want to waste our time explaining what every one of these works for, but as we proceed, we will get to see their functions. So for us to achieve the aim of this class, let's see what our catalog looks like. If you want to work on ArcMap, you have to connect your folder, like the data you want to work with, you have it in a folder. So you have to connect it to your catalog so that you can have access to it while you're working on your ArcMap. So if you want to do your folder connection, you come here, connect to folder, then it will ask you to look for the folder you want to connect with. So let's say I'm working with this folder. I'll just click on it, then I'll click OK. If I go back to my catalog now, you can see I have this folder here now. So if I have anything I want to work with on it, I'll just take it from here like this, bring it to my table of contents. So basically what this table of content is for is just where you align your layers, how you want them to appear. The one at the top is what you will see on your display. Let's say I have another layer covering this UIGIS map now. It's the one, okay, let me see if I can get a better, okay, let me say I moved my major routes here like this. Let me change. Okay, I moved my major routes here like this. So you can see it's because I have my major routes here. That's why I'm seeing it on top of my UIGIS map. So if I should take this UIGIS map down, you can see I can't see it anymore. So what you want to see will determine how you will arrange your layers on the table of content. I hope you can hear me clearly, please. I need response.
Yes,
hello?
it's clear. Yes, it's clear. It is very clear. It's very clear.
All right, no problem. So I'm going to, okay, let me quickly explain this. Probably you are working on your ARC map and you have a lot of layers to work with, and there is need for you to probably turn on or off all the layers or something. You just come to this layer, right click, you see turn all layers off. So if I should click this, it will turn everything off. So assuming I have like 10 layers here and I want to see only my major routes. So instead of me to uncheck all other 9 layers, I will basically just turn off all layers. Then I can come and check my major route. So that's that. I'll remove my major route now. So this UIGIS map that we have here, you can see it's JPEG, which is a raster format. So you cannot directly work on it on ARC map. So you have to derive the workable format from it, which is SHP. And before you can do this, what you will have to perform first is what we call georeferencing. So basically, what is georeferencing? Georeferencing basically in GIS is just a process whereby you reference a particular point to a location, whereby you give a point, a location on the Earth surface, so that any other data that you want to plot on that what's it called, on that raster image will pick same geographical information attached to that point. So basically, georeferencing is just allocating location to points, places, be it your polygon, your points, your lines, so that you can have that actual geographic information and plot at the correct place on the Earth surface. So before you can work on raster images like this in ArcMap, you have to do what we call georeferencing. So we have our georeferencing tool here. So if you should know, probably on your own ArcMap, you cannot see it, you should come to this place, customize, come to toolbar, then you check. You can see when I uncheck my own, let's done.
The transcript from the meeting will be saved and shared with apps, another factor, with relevant permission based on the settings that's
Moshirat, please can you mute yourself? You are disturbing us, please. So basically, for you to do this, you have to know at least 3 points.
Okay.
Sir.
I'm going to mute everybody, but you have to mute yourself back.
All right, sir.
So you can omit yourself back. Okay.
All right, sir. Okay, so you can see I unchecked my georeferencing tool. So if you cannot see your georeferencing tool here, you just have to come to customize, then go to toolbars, and check it here. So having done that, so for you to perform your georeferencing, you need to know at least 3 points, the coordinates for 3 points on the raster image that you are working with. So how do we go about this? Basically, probably you have access to where you are working. You can just go there. Maybe you can just move in a rectangular format, pick one point here, go to another point, pick another point, pick another point, pick another point. And you make sure you can identify a place very close to that point on the raster image you are working with. So you make sure you can identify that place. So you now come back to this raster image. When you get to the raster image, you identify the place, then you input your coordinate system. But I did not prepare for this, so I'm not with the coordinate system to use for this to georeference this image. So I'll just bring one of the shape files that I've worked with before. So that you can see what it looks like. Mm. Yeah, so basically the process of creating the shape file, once you connect your folder, so it is always good to have the folder you're working with on your catalog. So once you connect your folder, you just right click on this place. Then you click on new. So you come here and select shapefile. So you can name your shapefile. Probably you want to work on, let's say you want to work on buildings. And take note, when you want to input name for a shapefile, let's say you want to work on, let's say you want to write major roads. It does not accept space. So you have to put probably underscore for it to accept it. But let me create for buildings. So Like I said earlier, if you are working on buildings, you use polygon. The feature type for buildings is polygon. So you change your feature type here to polygon. So you have to assign a coordinate system to this shapefile. So everything you are drawing in this shapefile will use the same coordinate system. So you click on edit, then you go to WGS. WGS 1984. So once you can click to show details and then you click OK. So I have my building here now. So for me to now continue to work on this to start my drawing, I will have to come to the editor. You click on editor. If you don't have your editor here, you can find it somewhere around you. Okay, it's editor toolbar. So I have it here already. So I'll click on start. I'll click on start editing. Create feature. Then the shapefile that I want my drawings to be shaped, what I want to digitize to be shaped in. That's what I will click. And I'll try to expand. I'll try to expand this. So I'll click the shapefile, then I'll select autocomplete polygon. That's if I'm working, if you can use autocomplete polygon, probably you're working with a kind of map that has a continuous boundary. You use autocomplete polygon because if you should trace one boundary, to trace the next one, where they connect, you don't have to retrace it again. So automatically, it will complete it for you. But here, I'll be using polygon. So now I can now start to create my shapefile. Let's say, for instance, I want to draw a shapefile for this building. So as soon as I'm okay with my drawing, I will double click it. So I'll go to the next one, do the same thing, and I'll double click it. So I've done this before, so I don't think we really need to go over it again. So let me just uncheck. Check this. So if I want to create another shapefile for my point, I'll come back to where I connected my folder, come to new, come to shapefile, and now probably I want to create major road. Major road. And I'll change this to, remember I said it earlier, You use lines for roads and points for vegetation. So I'll pick polyline. And don't forget, for your polylines to have a georeference data attached to it, you have to click on edit. And we'll go to come to Word, and you come to WGS 9834, click OK, then click OK. So now I will start to create my picture. Start to create picture now. Okay. So for this, I'm going to be selecting line. And move it. I say I want to digitize this road from here to here to here. Now click on my mouse board. Go this way. Go this way. So once I'm done, I'll just double click. So I have my major road digitized already. Another one we have to do now. So once I'm done, I'll double click it. So I have my road digitized. So another one we'll try to see how we can do it now is points for the vegetation. So you come back to your folder, go to new, then click on shapefile. So let's say vegetation. So here you click on edit, then assign your coordinate system. Click OK. Click OK. Then you go to where you have your vegetation, something like this. Okay, before you continue, you have to stop editing so that your last edit for the road can be saved. Then come to start editing again. Then you click on create features and select this. Select this. Then we've assigned points to it. So we are good to go. So you come here, you create your points to denote vegetation in this area. Vegetation in this area. So once you are done, just click on stop editing. So actually, do you want to save the edits? You click yes. So having done all of this, you've successfully derived a workable format from that your raster image. So from here, you can now proceed that you don't want to use raster image anymore. So you only want to see your vegetation, you only want to see your major roads that you digitized earlier, and you only want to see your UIGIS. You only want to see your buildings, major roads, and vegetation. So let me just check that so that we can have something better to work with. Here we try. So now we have successfully digitized our Bodija map. So all what we have here now, this is the building we digitized. These are the roads, and these points represent vegetation. So you can easily perform your analysis with this. Probably you want to cite a location. You are looking for, probably you want to cite a location for fire service, and you want the place to be about maybe 100 meters from the main road, and it should be at two connecting roads so that it will be easier for the fire team to move anytime there is call for them. There's a lot of analysis that you can do with this shapefile now, since you have already converted it you've converted your raster format to vector format so that you can easily work on it. So another thing I would like to show us is attribute table. So basically, when you're working, the way we are creating this data, we have attribute table coming with it. So you open your attribute table. So this is the attribute table. Here you can now decide to add other data that you want to assign to. Probably you have a specific point of interest, or you have something you want to attach to them. Maybe this road is for one specific purpose. You just come to add field. So the field will ask you that what's the name of the field you want to input. So you just type the name here, then type, it will sort integer long, integer float, double text. So if you want to input text, you click on text. So the length is 50. If what the text you want to input is more than 50, you can increase the length as well. But we are okay with that. Let me say, what can we, maybe you want to create for length. No, length should be integer. Let me see. Name. So you click OK. Okay, this one is popping up because it does not accept space. So it's either you put underscore or you write everything together. It is too long. Okay, let's rename it. Click on yes. So we have it here now. So for you now to work, to continue to input your data here, you have to start editing. Then you come here. Probably you know the name of this route to be Awolowo Road. for it to be Awolowo Road. You input it. This one, ShopRite, page, the input is seafood co. You input it. So with this, you'll be able to know the name you have to each of the roads. So once you are done, you just come to editor, stop editing. It will ask you, do you want to save your edit? You click on yes. Then add another field. 1, 2. So I will just brief us on coordinate system. Probably if time permits, I might prepare a slide and send it across to the group so we can have a better understanding of what coordinate system is. So basically in GIS, we can, we are dealing with data that are location based, that have location attached to them. So for you to now achieve this aim, anytime you're working with your data, you need to be very sure there is location attached to them. So in GIS, basically we have two types of coordinate system, which I know of. One is the geographic coordinate system, and the other one is projected coordinate system. So geographic coordinate system tells your data where to plot on the earth. The earth is not flat. So it tells your data where to plot on earth. So the unit that comes with coordinate, geographic coordinate system used to be of angle, while that of projected coordinate system is in meters. Because projected coordinate system is just like a distortion of your geographic coordinate system. Just imagine holding egg and you are trying to split it so that the shells will appear on a flat surface, and the information will still be at the exact location they should be. So your projection coordinate system only tells your data where to plot on the on a flat surface. Why that of the geographic coordinate system is just telling your data where to plot on the earth, which is spherical. So basically, your coordinate system, when you have a projected coordinate system, there must be an underlying geographic coordinate system, because it is geographic coordinate system that is being projected into projected coordinate system. And another thing I would like to talk about is the fly projection. So basically, it's just assigning a coordinate system to your data, and every other layers you are adding, every other features you are creating will carry the same coordinate system. So the arc map is the one that will do this fly projection for you automatically once you assign a particular coordinate system to what you are working with. So I'll try to work on the slides and send to us to have a better understanding of what coordinate system is. So I think Mr. Raymond is back. Maybe you will have one or two things to add and can take questions. Mr. Raymond, are you there? Hello, Mr. Raymond. Let's just give him some time. I think Mr. Raymond is not available. So if you have any question, raise your hand and you can put it on the chat box. Okay, we can ask a question.
Okay. Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So I must apologize sincerely. My Wi-Fi is just giving me issue. When the battery overheats, it just switch on and off and all that. So I'm very, very sorry. Very painful even to me. So as I was saying, I think I stopped at categorization. Or should I start afresh?
Yes, please.
All right. Okay. That will be okay. So you've done some of the stops I think I had wanted to do. So I will still revisit them. So now in geodata, we have the raster and the vector. And not just that, we have the attributes. So now in your raster, you have the satellites, the drones, the planes, and your phones. And in the vector, you have the vector, the points, lines, and polygons. As I was saying, when you get your imagery or raster, so you now try to replicate whatever thing you see in your imagery that is in a digital form to transform it so that you can run so many analyses with it. So that is the digitizing. That's when you create your vector shape files. So now when you create them, you analyze them. That is in comparison with the imagery because it's overlaid. So you try to analyze them. Say, okay, this should be in this category, this should be in this category, and all that. So when you do that, you now verify. After you categorize and digitize, you have to verify. That is in GIS, we call it ground truthing. That is, you must make out time to visit that site if it is accessible. you have to go there. If it is a market, you have to make sure that, yes, this thing I actually digitized is a market. If it is a school, you have to verify, because an example is that you might, because the satellites take pictures from time to time. So it might be when it took the picture, there was an occasion, maybe a political campaign or burial ceremony or something like that. So they now actually use these canopies, the tents and all that. And it happens that that was when the satellite took the picture. So you might mistaken it to be a market. While such thing lasted for maybe 2 days, few hours, or just few weeks, maybe a campaign, they use it off and on. So that is the essence of ground truthing. You go there and verify, oh, actually, this was a temporary structure, or this is a permanent structure. This is a market or not. Actually, the same thing goes with water bodies and roads. You have to verify them. So that process is called ground truthing. So when you ground truth, you now come back to your office and standardize your data. It might be that you've digitized those places as buildings, adding maybe 10 buildings or 50 buildings without knowing they are all temporary structures that have been removed. So when you now do that, you now have to remove them. So when you remove them, and other things, other adjustments you have to make. So you now standardize them. So by so doing, sometimes you might do it more than once. It's not just once you do it. Sometimes you might do it more than once, more than twice, and all that, depending on how both your work and the level of precision needed in your work, or the level of timeliness. It might be that you want to use that data or whatever thing to do something that is frequently. So you need an update. So all those factors is what you now bring in to standardize your data, so as to make sure that what you are giving out is as authentic as possible. So those are the procedures you use to prepare your data before you can now utilize them for any analysis, whether you are doing road network analysis, whether you're doing suitability analysis, whether you're doing pollution control or analysis and control, or you're doing maybe, we can say, access analysis and management. So these are the procedures you do to prepare your data, so that you don't mistaken GIS or this part of GIS as something you just download your imagery and you digitize, you start counting, you start analyzing. No. There are procedures you must follow in order to make sure that the data you are using is very, very accurate, is very, very standard, so that your final product will now be okay. Because if you don't do those things, you might end up submitting a data that tells us that we have 500,000 buildings in a city, or that we have 50 roads, or that we have 5 lakes, and all that, or that we have 5 gardens, and all that. While in actual sense, some of the people you're submitting those things or you're analyzing with, they have a good knowledge of that area. They can say, no, I'm sure in my town we have 3 schools. I'm sure in my town we have just 1 river. I'm sure in my town, or in that school compound, we've done survey before, we have 36 buildings, not 42. You understand that? So that you will not run into such issues with your clients or your students or whomever that is going to use that data later on. So that is it. So now I'm going to make a brief demonstration because our time is fast spent, but from upper week or next week, whenever schedule, I will try and see what I can do with my network. So I'm going to demonstrate. First, I'm going to do with customer or individuals living in an area, how to assess them, how to analyze them, or how to gather data about them. It's going to be brief but specific. So first, I will start with Ibadan. Another thing I want to say is that just I'm going to demonstrate, you will just pick on how to use the arc map together because our time is fast spent, so I won't separate it from what I'm demonstrating. So from how I did that, I will explain where you go to pick up your files, how you keep your files and all that, because those things are equally important as the analysis you're going to run. If you don't keep your files in a specific direction, directories and all that, you might just mix it up. Some people do that, especially when you're starting. You keep one in this folder, you keep another one in your desktop, you keep another one in your one other memory card, and another. Before you know it, you get confused, especially when you close your work. To find it later will take you like 5 hours with enough frustration. So you have to just follow as I do. And one more important thing is that in GIS, the first thing we are taught, especially from our senior colleague before our lecturer started, when we got our admission then in UI, is that GIS needs patience. That's one of the virtues you must have to learn GIS. You must be patient. Why? Because there are so many areas, there are so many reasons why you make major errors in your analysis or whatever thing you're doing with any of the applications. There are many things. You might click, it will hang, and you get offended because maybe your laptop, the specifications are very low and the apps are very heavy. So it will definitely slow everything down. You might want to digitize and the image, the vector shape file you are using will now be hooking with other ones. And you get frustrated. The next thing you start shouting, what sort of rubbish is this? And what sort of rubbish is that? But in essence, you never really understand that there are some things you need to adjust in your apps. So those are the things you will encounter when learning GIS. Many things will frustrate you, so you just need to be patient. And you need to contact your senior or your supervisor or whoever that is guiding you so that he will calm you down, he or she will calm you down and direct you on what next to do so as to proceed. And sometimes when you make mistakes, it's not good to shut down the app. You just close and start afresh. No, just like in your test or examination, when you fail a particular course, you don't have to cancel the whole exam and start afresh. You have to take that specific one. If it is maybe inside the course itself, number 10, you have to repeat or write number 10. So you need to be very, very patient. So whenever maybe a particular shapefile is not working, just if you can remove the shapefile or if you can stop and restart it, just do that. Don't shut down the whole thing and start all over again. No, it's totally wrong, please. Because if you do that, you might get to that point and still encounter the same problem or make the same mistake. You stop, you start, no. So, but when you face that particular mistake or that particular, then you can overcome it. Thank you very much. So I'm so far so good. I'm going to proceed now. I will get an imagery and all that to proceed. So first thing, when you launch your arc map, the first thing you do is to set the coordinate system. And in that, we have to. So when you launch it, you can change your cursor because my cursor now is in arrow. So you can change it from the palming. By default, it's in palming. So you can just click on the arrow, everything will change because this is just digital. So when you click, it will just change to that shape. So now, when you click on this arrow, I hope everybody is seeing my screen.
Yes.
All right, thank you. So when you click on the arrow, you click it. So the first thing you right click on the open space, you just right click, it will open. when it does, you now yeah. So you now go to your data frame properties. So when you go to your data frame properties, you click, it will open. That is a sub menu. Another one will now open. Please just bear with me. The system slows down. All right. So by default, my own is on the coordinate system itself. So sometimes it might be on illumination, it might be on grid, it might be on frame. Normally, it's sometimes, most times it's on general. So you don't get scared or offended. So it will just be on one of them. So you just have to adjust it and pick the one you want to use. Like now we want to do the coordination. The coordinate system. So you click on the coordinate system, it will come out. So when it come out, we have two types. We have the geographic coordinate system. We have the projected coordinate system. They are almost the same thing, but they have different functions. Let me just use the layman language. The geographic coordinate system is just the general system. It's just like your uniform, just like your wears. You just have your general wears. You go to church, everybody can have a general wear. You can wear whether blue color or multicolor or riot or whatever thing, you can do that. But the projected is just like a church member that is in choir. You have a specific uniform. So that is the difference. So you're projected when you want to run any analysis that requires specific.
I think our speaker lost his connection again. Let me just I'll remove this file. So I just want to show us the demonstration of how to georeference when you have a raster image that you want to work with. So I'll bring in this Niger map. Yeah. Like I said earlier, georeferencing is just assigning location to a particular point on the Earth surface so that they will draw accurately at where they should be on the Earth surface. So before we can do this, we need to know at least 3 points on the raster image that we are working with. So I'm going to be using this Niger map because it has the grid line and the coordinates assigned to them already. So for you to perform georeferencing, like I did, I hope everyone can see my screen. Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So we need to know at least 3 points on the raster image we are working with. So I have the georeferencing tool here. And if you check my layer, I have Niger.jpg. So you ensure that it's the one selected here as well. So what we'll do now, we'll have to take note of the 4 points we are using for our georeferencing. So I'll be picking the points now for us to use. So if you have something like this, it is easier to work with, unlike the Bodija map that we got from Google Earth. Although by the time you are taking your raster image from Google Earth, you must have taken your coordinate as well. Or if you are very close to the place, you can just go there and obtain your coordinates using your GPS. So basically we have our coordinates here. So you just come, you trace this down. You trace this down, come to this meeting point. So you pick these 2 coordinates. That's what we'll be using for our first point. So after this class, I can just send these files across to every one of us so we can practice it. So we are going to write down the coordinate. So we go, so when you're doing this, it's either you should follow one pattern. If you are going like this, or you are going like this. So me, I'll be going like this. So I'll pick the second point here. This is my second point. I will write the coordinates down as well. Fine. Then I'll go to the next one. I'll go to the next one. Probably somewhere around here. No, here. So I'll pick for this point too. Okay. I'll come to the next one. So I'll pick this one too. So we are done picking our points. Now what we will do next now is to perform our georeferencing. Yeah. So what we do now is to perform so you come to, because I've done this before. Sorry, I lost my connection. I have to reconnect. Can everyone hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay. So because I've done this before, I will have to delete it so that we can start all over again. So I'll come to this view link table. You can see here I have my coordinates that I've used already. So I will have to delete them now so that I can redo them. So you just hold your control key and click all so that you can have everything. So I lost my map. I'll just come back to this Niger JPG and I'll click on zoom to layer. So I'm good to go. So what I'll do next now is come to, okay. I'll click anywhere on the map and I'll come to data frame properties so that I can assign coordinates to the raster image. So I'll click on the UIGIS 1984. I'll click on apply and I'll click on OK. So I have my coordinate system assigned to the map already. So I'll go on to add control points here. I'll click on add control points. So I have my map here. So let us get we started here. These are our points. So you zoom in. Once you place your mouse at the center, it will bring that actual point closer to you as you roll your mouse ball. So what you do now is you right click. No, you left click first. You left click first, then you right click. You now go to input DMS. That is degree, minute, and seconds. That's what we picked. So we'll go to input DMS. Then you input what your long is here. 3, 30. You clear this. Since we have 0, 0 on our of, and you can just leave it blank. It's okay. So you come to the next one. You input your latitude. 30, 13, 0, 0, 0, 0. Then you can leave this one blank too. One thing you should not forget here is to change this you should change this to this. Then we'll click OK. We will find your map missing again. Right click, go to zoom to layer, which will bring it back. Then we go to the next point. You go to the next point. Don't forget, you left click, then right click. Input DMS. Then you input. Then so it's all right there. So you find it missing again, you come back, go to zoom to layer, then you go to your third point. Forget left click, then right click. Input DMS. Input 14. So by the time you are doing the third one, the TMS must have been adjusting itself to the, even if it is not accurate, it will be very close. So we have 5 degrees, 14 minutes here already. So the 5 degrees is correct. We just input this to be 30. Then click OK. So we come back here, zoom to layer, and we'll go on the fourth point. Left click, then right click, input DMS. So with the look of things now, you can see our long is already 3 degrees 30 seconds, which is correct. Just that the seconds is not correct. So this one too is very close to what we should input, which is supposed to be 5 degrees 30 seconds. So the moment you are doing the third one and what you are having is not very close to your waiting coordinates, then you know that something is wrong somewhere. So you click OK. So as I clicked OK like this, so I've successfully input all the coordinate system. But let's say, for instance, while you were trying to input the coordinate system and there is a mistake somewhere, your map will not be straight. It will tilt. So you know that what you are doing is wrong. So you immediately check for where the error is coming from. So once you are done with this, what you will do next now is to, let's check our view link table. You can see we have everything intact already. Then if you choose to save, you can save it probably next time if you want to use it. So the last thing you will do is just to update your georeferencing. So once you update your georeferencing like that, you are good to go. So you successfully georeference this raster image. So anything you are doing next on this image like this, it will carry that geographic information, geographic coordinates that you assigned to it automatically. So I'm trying to see if I can get Niger boundary to explain one or two things here. Okay, so from here, what you just have to do next, it depends on what you want to do on your map. Do you want to digitize the boundary? You digitize it, then do you want to perform your analysis? You build up your attributes table. Probably you want to show the populations in each state. You want to show their language, the geopolitical zones they fall into. So you can easily do that with your attribute table. You can easily do that with your attribute table. I want to show us, maybe I can get, okay, fine. I can get, okay. So when you're done digitizing, this is what you have. You know, I told you earlier, you use polygon to trace boundaries like this. So with this, you can perform your analysis on this. Just see. So I have my Niger boundary. I've digitized it here. So I want to open my attributes table now. So this is my attributes table. The process of doing this is very, very long. That's why I just have to bring something that I've done so that we can see how it really works. So once you are done, your polygons and every other thing will be under your attribute table. Then you can now decide to add field to each polygon. Once you add the field, then you can name the field the way I did earlier. You name the field, then you input what you want the field to carry, irrespective of the polygons. So basically, I have the polygons here. Probably you can see it is 87. It's supposed not to be, but probably during the process of digitizing, I've made some mistakes. So I will have to check for it by clicking. Probably you start from here. You can see it's showing me where this polygon is. Start from here, you go like this. So it will show you each and every one of the polygons. So once you figure out where the mistake is, then you can delete it. And you can delete it. So you check it. So if you are good with that, you continue. Well, you can see I have my data here already. So I can easily tell, okay, the polygon I'm currently clicking on is Bauchi. What's common to Bauchi? They have iron ore. What's the population of Bauchi? I have it here. And some other data. So for you now to work with this attribute table, the speaker that will be coming tomorrow will walk us through working with attribute table how you can visualize the data using your attribute table and all the symbology and everything will be explained by the speaker tomorrow. So if you have question now, you can raise your hand. You can put them on the chat box too. Okay, you can unmute.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Benedict. So I just want to ask that how do we convert our longitude and latitude value into DMS?
Come again.
How do we convert our longitude and latitude value into DMS?
How do you convert your latitude and longitude into DMS?
Like what? 5 degree, 36 minutes, 00 seconds to like 5 point something, something, something.
If you have the other, you have DMS and you can have it in meters as well. So it depends on what you have. I use that DMS because what I have is TMS. You can see we have another option there. Let me show you. And there is a formula that you can use to convert it as well. Yeah, that's for instance, now you want to digitize this now. So once you come to the data frame properties, okay. So I said what you want to do is left click. So we have your coordinates in this format. Instead of you to use DMS, you can just use input X and Y. I hope that answers your question. Hello, are you there?
Yes, we can hear you. We go on.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Abdulaziz, you can ask your question.
Okay, good morning. Thank you. My question is, I'm particularly interested in rotating raster images and like drawing irregular polygons for certain features on the images. I don't know if this is
Can you be audible a little bit? I can't hear you.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, thank you. So I said I'm particularly interested in annotating raster images for like drawing polygons and kind of labeling features on them. So is this thing that is the same with this digitalizing? And for the attribute table that you showed us, were those features kind of extracted somehow when you already digitalize a map or something, or did you have to input them?
Yeah, that's what your attribute table is for. Once you create your polygons to represent the states, you have to add a field, then assign the name for each state accordingly. You have to assign the name so that your polygons, each polygons can carry the name of the state they belong to. So if you have any other information to add as well, you add the field. Let me bring back let me try and show you. So you can see that I have state name, capital, population, resources, ethnic group. You'll be the one to input everything. Or probably you have a shapefile that has it already. You don't have to go through this stress. Just drag the file and put it on your workspace under your table of content. Then you have it there. So your shapefiles, all these feature classes will carry that information. That's why you have the what's it called? The opportunity to add field and input the information that you want each polygon to carry. And that's it. I hope that answers your question. Abdulaziz. Let me check the chat box and see. Okay, Alima, if I want to show mineral resources, it depends. If you want to show the mineral resources based on the states, you input them on your attribute table so that when you visualize your map, you'll be able to tell, probably with color, that okay, this particular mineral is of this color and you can find them in this particular state. But if you really want to denote where a mineral occurs on your map, you will use points. So do we still have any other questions? Okay. Yes, it should be for one mineral. If you want to, okay, let's say you want to, okay, there's tourmaline in this particular point. You use points to denote that area of interest, which is to show that you have that mineral in that place. But these that I've created now, you can see I have crops, the crops to each state. So you can decide to add minerals that you can find in each of these states as well. So it all depends on the nature of the job you are working on. Yeah, the process of digitizing, you've done your conversion already. So if you have your vector, which is the SHP, you can continue to do with it whatever you want to do, perform your analysis, all sorts of things you want to do with it. Okay. Thanks to everyone for coming, and I hope we'll come back by 8:30 to meet the speaker again if we will have one or two things to add to what we learned.